had a couple of questions, I suppose, that relate to value, which we touched on earlier. One of them is sort of thinking about the move towards PLICs, different ways of reporting things. I think we've heard that activity hasn't been recorded in the same way through COVID as it may have been previously. Obviously, there's the move to block contracts. Are we likely to see different perceptions of value, thinking more about patients and pathways than episodic care?
Yeah, I think this happened already. You know, one of the things that we've been doing recently is basically setting up little calls. We call them all kinds of different things, but we'll be in this kind of environment, and we've got a client there, and we've got people from the NHS. And a consistent thing that comes out is that change. I think some of the verbatims we've heard is people saying, "Oh, hang on a minute, you've got to understand. We now think as an ICS." Yeah, I think I was telling you I was in one yesterday afternoon where a director from a huge, slightly arrogant tertiary trust, you know, with that kind of reputation, not the person but the organisation, and they were saying, no, what the business case is now, it's not just how it affects the hospital. How does that affect the community nurses, the GPs, the ambulance? There's absolutely no way that we would do anything that has a secular benefit to us and not right across the board. So I think the change is there already. When it's put into structural concrete terms, probably next year when we've got legislation, we'll feel it even more. But I think it's there already. And congratulations to the person who mentioned about PLICs, because when you construct a business case now, what matters is not the price system of tariffs. What matters is what is the real cost. So, and it's no good saying, so instead of going in a hospital, the GP is going to do it, or be seen in a community trust, or someone's going to come out peripatetically. You know, so as our friend was saying last night, at every level now, it's no longer the organisation, it's the population, it's Team NHS.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and there's a bit of a follow-up to that. So the question was, how can economic evaluations be made more relevant to local commissioning decisions?
Yeah, I mean, that's the answer. They just need to be. And you've got to look at, it doesn't necessarily, some of it could be, but let's not kid ourselves, longitudinally over a lifetime, that's always going to challenge people on the modelling. But what you can do initially is immediately start to think of the whole chain from NHS 111 and community pharmacy through to ICU. Because like our friend last night, she's a director in a huge tertiary centre, and she's thinking that way. I think typical PCNs are as well. So you have to think of the impact. It's no longer good enough, and we at Medtech Access have to learn about this as well. You can't have a budget impact model and say, inpatients, outpatients, oh, there's a little bit of A&E data. There you go, that's telling you it. It's got to be a comprehensive picture from now on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was having a conversation there, I think it was last week, with a senior trust director talking about the fact that they are now looking at how they can get the data from other parts of the system, from social care, from community services, from all the other parts of the system, because actually now that really matters. When they're looking at moving a service 50 miles away, what's the impact? Does it mean carers are going to be coming along? How do they assess all of these different things? And then you lay on top the capacity restraints and social distancing and the need to work in different ways, and suddenly every value story becomes completely different, doesn't it?